All right. Hi, folks. Welcome to my crafting guide. I'm not going to lie, I did cheat a bit making this crafting guide. This was not easy to come up with. So let us just get to it. So for my number 5 pick to craft for legendary, which this is probably the least important category for newer players. You're going to be more interested in these 3 categories. This is legendary, supreme, rare, and common. So you're going to be more interested in those 3. But so coming in at number 5 is the Colossus. He is the total build around card. You can shadow step him. You can do healers behind him, the priestesses. You can do healing fireballs. You can put mobs like soul stealers and bothras and spirit mancers and blastmasters and fire imps, and you can just go crazy building decks and decks around this guy. Um, or you could just throw him into a deck as a secondary type threat. But he's very, very powerful either way you want to play him. All right. So then coming in at number 4 is Stixie. Oh, not anymore. Stixie's gone. Hit the wrong button. Where are you, Stixie? All right. Boom. Stixie's back. So this is another card that you can build around pretty easy. You can Spirit Infuse. I've seen people cast the spell that splits them off into 2 different creatures. Um, I forget what it's called. It's a 3-mana spell. I guess we can check it out. We can check it out. This card, Spawn of Fury. You can Spawn of Fury him. Um, Stixie oftentimes needs like a fireball or a beam of doom to answer. He's so annoying. Anyway, so coming in at number 3 is the Herald Amon. Now he is similar to the Colossus, where you can put priestess behind him, do healing fireballs. You can also play lots of other Slither bound so that he gets the free sacrifice the first time he's gonna die. You get a free heal with him. You just sacrifice a couple of the Slitherbound guys, and it's very, very powerful. I've seen people run 2, 3 Herald Amon decks, and sometimes it can get ugly. All right, so coming in at number 2 is Bothra, the Witch Wolf. He kills tall units, he kills small units, he locks all the ground units out when he comes into play. Very, very powerful legendary. He's kind of a little squishier than most of the other legendaries, but very, very powerful. And then my number 1 pick for legendaries is Juan, Keeper of the Jade Spark. And he's very similar to the Colossus, where you can put Priestess behind him. You could do things like Shadow Step him. You can spawn a Furium. You can do all the fun stuff that you can do with the Colossus. And the range that he hits with his power is pretty incredible. And that is all my legendaries. All right, so on to the Supremes, which this list actually stayed pretty similar to my old list. I'll leave a link of my old crafting guide, you know, the old stinkier crafter guide in the description. But coming in at number 5 is the Demon Warrior. So you cast him 5 times, and on the 6th time after, you get a triple health, triple damage demon that's like huge. He's like the size of a colossus and whatnot, and very, very powerful. So what you want to do is kind of use mana frenzy decks. Good masters or APEP or Rapo that you can just spam out a bunch of dudes, and then you just cast these big demon warriors at the end of the game, and they usually end the game pretty quickly. Very, very powerful. And coming in at number 4 is Blastmaster. Now this guy is one of the best at clearing out small mobs. He kills flying mobs and ground mobs. And if you put like some kind of big fatty in front of him, he'll just go to work for you and keep doing work. Very, very, very powerful. And then coming in at number 3 is the Spirit Mancer, which he's kind of similar to his brother Blastmaster, but instead of just blowing up the units, he'll kill them and infuse your units with spirit. And then your units will start winning fights with other mobs and whatnot. Like a lot of times it gets pretty ugly pretty quick. Like they'll keep feeding mobs to try to like stop your mobs, and then your Spirit Mancer will just keep going to town like feeding your mobs. So very, very, very powerful. So coming in at number 2 is Harbinger. Now Harbinger is an awesome, awesome card. Does truckload of damage, and he does it from like a very far distance, and he knocks people back too. The only thing is that he's slow as hell, and his health isn't the greatest considering how much of a big dude, how much of a mana investment he is. But very, very powerful. All right, and then coming in at number 5 for the Supremes is Soul Stealer. This card eats up small mobs, and the more he kills people, the faster he gets. He gets these like little rings of souls around him, and at the end of it, he's like just throwing, destroying like damage out. It's super fast. He can end the game very, very quickly once he's fully powered up. And that is it for the Supremes. So moving on to the rares. Now this is where I really start to cheat from the rares and the commons. So I put number 5 for the rares as the puffs, which I edge Squire Puff if you can only afford one of the puffs, but they're all pretty good. The Squire Puff will give 3 friendly ground minion shield. And so if you could only craft one of them, I would say craft him. The Mana Puff and the Disruptor Puff, the Mana Puff will give you mana, and the Disruptor Puff will go from bridge to bridge. So all very, very powerful, cool tools to quickly take a bridge again, which is, you always want to have. You always want to take back the bridges because you keep getting experience as long as you have the bridges. Then coming in at number 4 is the Rammer, which is just cool unit. Rammer is just very, very aggressive. He ends the games very, very quickly. You do things like Chain Lightning or other taunt minions or like stuns, whatnot, like the little stun balls and stun blast to just stun everything around the Rammer. Just a nasty, nasty card. And sometimes you get lucky and they're doing like a building strategy or something, and he's really good against that kind of stuff also. All right, coming in at number 3 for the rares is the Crossbow Guild. This is another build around card where you put like fat units like a Scrat Tank or a Living Statue or a Colossus or a Juan or whatnot in front of this, and then just let it do its work, where they'll just be overwhelming the people with crossbow dudes eventually. Very, very, very powerful. And then coming in at number 2 is the Shielded Crossbow Dudes, which these guys trade up with Harbingers. They trade up with Shadow Whelps, etc. So they kill lots of powerful units for a very cheap amount of mana. Very, very good card to craft. And then coming in at number 1. Whoops. Oh, we lost him. Our number 1 pick. We lost him. It's the Fire Imp. The Fire Imp kills anything on the ground. And I mean anything. He kills small mobs easily. Kills big mobs easily. He kills Morelia's dragon if he gives enough time. He kills everything. He is very, very nasty. The only problem is he's very, very squishy, so you got to try to protect him with his squishiness. But if you can, he will do some of the best work for you in the game. All right, so moving on to the commons, and this is where I really cheat with my list here. So it's been a while since I've had a starting collection like in this game, so I can't remember what they actually give you as your starting collection. But if they don't give you the warrior and the sniper scrat in your starting collection, I think those are just must crafts. You just have to craft them, whatever. And then an honorable mention is the Beam of Doom. Beam of Doom is one of the best removal cards, one of the best finishers for the game. Beam of Doom is just awesome, but it didn't quite make the top 5 list. So now onto the top 5 list. With if they didn't give these guys starting, craft them. This is a consideration. Common cards are cheap. All right, onto the onto the actual list now. So coming in at number 5 is Living Statue, which, you know, it's like the Colossus. It's like a Colossus that doesn't attack. It taunts people, so you'll play stuff like Spiritmancer, Blastmancer, Fire Imp, Soul Stealer, Crossbow Dudes, you know, whatever behind it. Or like Scrat Hordes or Whirly Scrats, you know, whatever you want, really. And you can just build your deck around endless living statues coming at your opponent. And then coming in at number 4 is the Swarmer Totem. Now this card is similar to the Crossbow Guild, where you have to do a little bit of work for it to, you know, overwhelm your opponent. You have to run like some kind of defensive chopper or boom buggy or, you know, like living statue or something. Yeah, you want to, you know, set up something where it's the swarmers are getting advantage or can attack without being attacked as much, because the swarmers themselves are kind of squishy. So for them to win fights, it's nice for them to have distractions around. But you will overwhelm your opponents if you put things like that in front of it, like Scrat Tanks, etc. So coming in at number 3 is the Defensive Chopper. Besides being like probably the coolest looking card in the game, look at this thing, awesome. It messes up ground units. It messes up like propeller scrats and whatnot, and the Scrat Pack Horde or whatever that card is. This just wipes them out. Like, you play this and it's a counter for all those cards. Also a counter for like Scrat Hordes. Pretty good against like the Wolf Among Us. Just a great card, and even it's not too bad against like bigger minions, except for maybe Cleaver. I think Cleaver kills it in like 2 hits, but yeah, just great. You know, like unit that stuffs ground stuff. And then coming in at number 2 is the Scrat Launcher, which is probably the second best finisher in the game. Really disgusting card. You can put like walls with it, or living statues with it, or Colossuses with it, like anything that kind of like clogs up the lane and just lets your Scrat Launchers do work. I've seen many Scrat Launcher decks, and it's very wicked. And if they have like 2 or 3 Scrat Launchers, it can be a very long game sometimes. Anyway, really good card. And then the number 1 card for commons to build is the Laser Turret. This will help you against all those flashy legendaries in the game. They pop the Joan down, you pop the Laser Turret down, and you just gain 5 mana. They pop, whatever down, a Colossus down, you pop this down, and you just gain 4 mana. It trades up pretty good on all those like really flashy superstar cards. So very very good for a new player to craft this card. And anyway, guys, I hope you like the list. I hope that helped newer players. I know older players, all this jazz. So whatever. You probably have some cards that are favorites of yours. I'm sure that make it on the list, especially in the legendary category. But hopefully that's a pretty good representation of an early crafting for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.